Welcome to the madness!
Hey, how's it going, folks? The name's Daffy, and welcome to another episode of my solo play series of 4 Against the Darkness. Okay, so in the last episode, we went over the introduction to the module, or to the game system, I suppose, and we overviewed the classes and the items. So, in this episode, we're going to be constructing our first party, and we're going to start delving into our first dungeon, explaining how the mechanics work from there. So, yeah, so from the last episode, I recorded that at the beginning of August. I'm now recording this episode on the 16th of September. Yeah, the reason why was because I wanted to do the second episode with the face cam up. Had that time where the face cam was broken, so I had to wait to get a new one to carry on with the series. Okay, so how we're going to. Oh, by the way, if you just come across this video and you want to know what the stick is, I would highly recommend watching the first episode. I go through all this in depth. But at this point forward, we're going to be moving on to new mechanics, like I mentioned. Okay, so the way we're going to construct our parties is that we are going to randomize them. Now, if you feel like you don't want to randomize them, you want to create like a proper cohesive party, in my opinion, now I've played a few parties in between the two episodes, about 2 or 3 parties, but very, very short time between all 3. And I found the best success is having 1 warrior, 1 cleric, 1 rogue, and 1 wizard. I found that to be the perfect synergy between the lot, because you got the rogue for utility, you got the fighter for damage, the cleric for healing, and the wizard for other shenanigans. I found some success using the barbarian, the elf, the dwarf, kinda, yes and no, and the halfling, yes and no as well. So, what we're going to do is, like anything like my other solo play series, we're going to randomize them. And there is 8 classes in all, and we're going to be using the dice roller from 5e Tools just to help us with what we're doing. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to do this first. So, we're going to roll a d8, and it's going to determine our first character. So, our first class is going to be a hobbit. No, hobbit, it's a halfling, right? Yep, it's a halfling. Let's go down to the halfling. There we go. Yeah, so just a quick reminder, the halfling can only wear light armor, can only use light hand weapons or slings. Halflings may not use shields. They add their level to defense rolls against giants, trolls, and ogres. Halflings can advance up to 3rd level maximum. Number of luck points. They have a luck ability, allows them to re-roll stuff. I think I went over that in the last episode, I believe. Strike equipment, lots of snacks, flavor, sling, light hand weapon is like 2d6 gold, and the life points is free plus a level. So we've got ourselves a halfling for the first one. Let's do another d8 to determine what we have. And by the way, if we do have recurring classes, I'm going to allow it. 3. Okay, so the 3 is a rogue? Yeah, 3 is a rogue. So yeah, yeah, because cleric's 2, fire's 1, so yeah, so we got a halfling, got a rogue up to 9, which is very interesting. Yeah, so adds level to disarm traps and to defense rolls. Rogue may wear only light armor, may not use heavy armor or shields. A rogue can add his level to his attack roll only when attacking an outnumbered minion, i.e. the party is more numerous than a group of minions, so a party of 4 including a rogue attacks 4 orcs. A party cleric kills an orc, so the adventure is now 3 to 4, and that's when the rogue can add the attack bonus. Again, I'll go with both everything once we get into combat, because combat is pretty simple, but there is a little nuances that can affect certain things. We got a rope, a lockpicks, light armor, and a light hand weapon. 3d6 gold pieces, and life is 3 plus level. Okay, so we're going to do our third roll now, so let's see what else we got. We got another rogue, nice, and the final one is a fighter, nice. So, altogether we have a fighter, 2 rogues, and a halfling, 2 rogues, and a warrior, which is pretty nice. Okay, so now, so the warrior will go over. So, adds his level to attack rolls. Warrior may use use a shield, light armor, heavy armor, and any weapon. We could start with a light armor, shield, and hand weapon. Although we could trade our shield and hand weapon in for a 2-handed weapon or bow if we want. 2d6 gold pieces, and 6 plus level, and the warrior has 7 life. Okay, so before we start constructing our characters, because I'm going to have to make a cut if I'm going to do this, because I'm going to have to do a little customization myself. But going over to Paint 3D, I want to show you the game board which we're going to be using. So the game board, so far we only have like 3 sheets to use for now. This is just a monster kills. We got vermin, minions, boss monsters, and weird monsters. This comes into effect later on. We have our flow chart, which allows us to keep, just to help us if we lose our way, basically just keeping us on the right track in terms of the flow of the dungeons and the fights and all that. But this right here is our play sheet. Yeah, just want to make sure. So yeah, so this is our play sheet. So as you can see, we have the name of the character, we have the type. This is the class, by the way, so you know, fighter, rogue, halfling. The attack roll is where we put the attack roll for the class. So for the warrior, if you remember, it's 1+ level, I believe. Is that what you said? Yeah, you can add a level to attack roll. I just want to double check. So for us, that'll be a +1. Defense roll will be whatever the equipment is, because, you know, your armor and shields also give defense rolls. But if this was a rogue, it'll be whatever plus level. The abilities is normally it comes down to, so for example, the fire is just literally just adds level to attack rolls, or for the rogue, it's add level to disarm traps and stuff. You would put the wizard abilities here as well as spells. GP is what you're starting with, equipment is what you have, levels, what level the character is, life, and clues is something a little interesting. You can get a level up by searching empty rooms. If you search empty rooms, you will get clues. I believe you get 3 clues that can either give you a treasure or it can give you a level up. So it's something to think about. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick cut. I'm going to fill out the form. I'm going to get a couple of images just to specify who we got. Oh, actually, no. Do you know what we can do, actually? What we'll do on screen? We're going to randomize the, we're going to sort out the GP, and we're going to sort out the equipment, because here's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm mucking up my own things here. Right, so first of all, let's do the halfling roll, since he's first. So the halfling is a 3d6, so I'm going to have to bring back to the PDF. Yeah, halfling. Yeah, so 2d6. Okay, so we're going to roll 2d6 to determine how much gold he's got. 4. Okay, so starts with 4 gold. So I'm just going to write that here. I mean, I'm not going to jump back between Paint 3D and the module. I'm just going to literally write it down. 4 GP. Okay, next is the first rogue, which I think the rogue is a 3d6, I believe. Yeah, 3d6. So yeah, so you can see one roll in the dice roller at the top, so it's there for evidence. So I'm going to roll 3d6. 7. Okay, so our first rogue is 7 gold. And then we're going to roll another 3d6. 10 gold. Ooh, that's going to be useful. 10 gold. And then finally it's the fire, which is 2d6, right? Yeah, 2d6 gold. Perfect. 2d6 gold. 6. Alright, perfect. Okay then. Right, so we've got 6 gold here. Okay. Also, there's another thing I want to randomize as well, and that is the weaponry. Now you see, in terms of the items, now I went over the items in the last episode, I think. I'm not entirely too sure. Yeah, I did. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to randomize the crushing and slashing weapons. So not only will this give us a nice little deviation, a nice little point of difference between characters, but also it allows them to have the right weapon for the right enemy. Because if you remember, I mentioned last time that certain enemies are weak to certain weapons. So for example, with the undead, you get a +1 to the attack modifier for crush weapons. So for example, one of my rogues could have, I don't know, let's say a staff, for example, and the other one could have a knife for their weapon, for example. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to randomize it. So if we go up to the halfling first. So the halfling can have up to light hand weapons and a sling. Starts off with a light hand weapon. So we're going to, okay, starts off with a light hand weapon. So we're going to randomize if it's going to be crushing or slashing. So we're going to roll a 1 and a 2. So crushing weapons is 1, slashing weapons is 2. So we're going to roll a d2, 2. Okay, so it's a slashing weapon. So I'm just going to put SW on my thing so I know. Okay, so we're going to do the same with the rogue. So the rogue has a light hand weapon as well. Is it? Yep, light hand weapon, so let's do a D2 to determine. This one's got a slashing as well. Now, I mean, obviously, this is just a little bit in terms of game mechanics. But at the same time, I will make every weapon different, and I'll explain how I've done it when we construct the party. Okay, another slashing. Take it. And then finally, the fighter. Crushing. Okay, perfect. So, crushing weapon. Okay, so the warrior begins with a sword, shield, and a hand weapon, and we trade his weapon for a two-handed. Okay, so now we need to think about the fighter. Does he want a two-handed, or does he want a shield and a hand weapon? So what we're going to do is we're going to do another D2 to determine what it is. So 1 is a hand weapon, 2 is a two-handed. Okay, so it's a one-handed hand weapon. Okay then, perfect. So, before we go into things, let's talk about the difference. Now, I've already went over the items roughly, but there's a few items we need to get, because what I need to do is I need to do a little bit of shopping. The standard equipment isn't enough, and there's a couple that I want to bring your attention to. So first of all, the bow, let's go over, what's the okay, so the light hand weapon. So the weapon gives the user a -1 attack rolls, that's the important thing. So -1 attack rolls, so that means that the rogues and the halfling are going to get -1 in their attack rolls. In terms of the hand weapon, which the fighter's going to have, no bonus. No bonus there and there. Now, the two-handed weapon, which we could have got for the fighter, so this weapon requires two hands to be used, so the carrier cannot carry a shield or a lantern, but gives a +1 to the attack the wielder's attack rolls. That's what you choose. And the most important thing is actually the lantern. So, the dungeons are presumed dark, as in, you know, the title, War Against Darkness, right? So this means that when you go into the dungeon, the party cannot see anything. There's no dark vision, there's no light spells, there's no torches or anything. Basically, it's the lantern. So a party must have at least one lantern and assign it to a character. The character must use one hand to carry the lantern and may not use a bow, a shield, or a two-handed weapon. If the lantern bearer is killed, another character must pick up the lantern up at the end of the current combat. You may also decide to carry more than one lantern just in case. So, I believe as well. Yeah, so basically the total money that we have. We could bring the PD up. There you go. Oh, by the way, let me put that as crushing weapon 1. So it's one-handed. Okay, so we have 4 gold for a halfling, we have 7 gold for a rogue, first rogue, 10 for a second, and 6 for a fighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little bit of a think about what I want to take. For our stuff. So right now, I mean, it's not much in terms of gold. There's not much whatsoever. So we have bandages with blessed spell for bow, hand weapon, heavy armor, holy water, lantern, light armor. These are the things that we can buy. So I think what I'll do is, I think we definitely need to buy 1 lantern, and I think I'll give that to the second rogue since we have 10. And what I might do is I might have the fighter buy a one bandage so we can heal 1 person. Now the problem is we don't have a cleric in this. Yeah, we don't have a cleric in this party, so healing is going to be very tough. So what's going to happen is there might not be a chance for us to completely clear the dungeon. So what we'll do is we'll go in, do what we can, get what we can. You know, do what we can, get what we can in terms of treasure and other things, and then we'll leave the dungeon. Again, I'll go for everything one bit at a time. Right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to do a quick cut, and I will introduce you to the party. Okay, right, so it's the beginning of a new day for me, and we have got our first party, so let me introduce you to. We have Morgan Tibolo, our halfling. Halfling wielding a hatchet. So the weapons you're about to see is the light hand weapons, as well as the 1 crushing hand weapon from the fighter as well, but just decided to use proper weapons just to give them, you know, a bit of flavor. And also I do have some images to represent the characters as well. Obviously, the images are just personal, you know. I like to give a little bit of visualization for the parties, make them a little bit more unique and stuff. So yeah. Also we got Nivexius. he is a tiefling rogue. So as I said, I think, did I say that at the beginning of the episode? I don't really remember, but when it comes to the generic classes like the warrior, thief, cleric, barbarian, and wizard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using Dungeons and Dragon races just to, you know, make it a little bit more varied. You know, I mean, having a whole party of humans just seems a bit generic to me. So, you know, just gonna give him some races and stuff. We have Zizandrol, our Firebolg rogue as well. Freebolg, you know, the tree lover one. And of course we have Sweetlook, who is a Tabaxi warrior, also using a mace. So yeah, so the only thing I've done in between creating characters as well, I have spent 5 GP on a lantern for Invexus, because I mentioned that you need to have a lantern for the dungeon crawling as well. That's one of the rules. I was kind of debating whether to get a couple of bandages, but I thought to myself, because we're just starting out and because we have such a low GP, because a bandage is 5 GP, the same as a lantern. Is a lantern 5 GP? No. Oh shit, I made a mistake. Oh no, wait a minute. No. I remember now. Yeah, no. I'm a goodie. I remember now. Yeah. So as you see, it says lantern's 4 GP. I thought Invexus had 7 GP. No, he has 6. I'm a goodie. That's the problem about recording in batches rather than, you know, just recording in one sitting. Because I don't have time for one sitting, I end up forgetting things. Okay, so anyway, actually that's where I did want to go eventually. Okay, so let's talk about how the dungeons are going to free flow. So the way the dungeons are constructed is we use random dice rolls to determine the rooms, the contents of the room, and what happens in that room. So let's go to the PDF for a second. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to roll on the entrance rooms. So we have a total of 6 rooms we can start off in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Each room will have connecting doors or connected passageways that lead into corridors. So, the entrance rooms. Roll d6 to determine which is the entrance to your dungeon. Draw it at the center of the lower edge of your sheet. Then choose a door and roll a d66 on that's a flat d66 or 2d6 totaled on the following 5 pages to generate a room. Any room that is only 1 square wide is a corridor. Any room that has 2 more squares in a room, this is a barrier in the game, as corridors are more likely to be emptied. Yeah, there's a reason for that. So we're going to roll a d6 and we're going to determine what we're going to start off with. Now you will be seeing a lot of cuts in this episode, or however long this episode will be, I have no idea. Because I'm going to have to copy and paste the individual rooms, crop them out, and I'll show you how it's going to be built. So we're going to 1. Okay, perfect. So we have dungeon number 1. Now, the good news is I already have this as part of one of my test recordings, so I'll get this set up in a second. Okay, so we have our first entry point. So we are starting from here, and then we have a choice between 1, 2, or 3 different rooms. Now, let's talk about the party itself. So, when you're going through the dungeon, you are required to set up a marching order. Now, the marching order determines a couple of things. First of all, I don't want to get too far into the actual combat, but when you're going into combat, there's different scenarios that can happen. The common scenario is if your party members equals the same amount of enemies. So for example, 4 party members against 4 enemies, right? The common scenario is this. Each enemy and party member must engage on a 1-to-1 fight. So it shows the marching order. Party 1, member 1 fights enemy 1, member 2 fights enemy 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So the marching order when you're going into rooms and when you're going into rooms is single file like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you get into combat, they do a line formation like that, and then fighting down that way. There is other options for multiple enemies fighting your 4 party members, but again, we'll go into that more in depth when we go there. But when you go into corridors, for example, and you fight in corridors, instead of a line formation like that, it comes into a 2x2 square grid. So you have member 1, member 2, member 3, member 4. Now the problem is, if you're facing enemies in a corridor, it just becomes a 2-on-2 fight. However, if you have ranged weapons such as slings, bows, or if you have magic, position 3 and position 4 can join in with the fight as well. And for example, there is chances that you can get ambushed in corridors. So what happens is, if you've got enemies coming from behind, you'll have position 3 and position 4 be fought, and 1 or 2 will be the backline, if you know what I mean. As far as I'm aware, there's no rules that state that you can switch your line. I've read it through multiple times and I don't think there is, but we can always go over it together if that's the case. So yeah, that's just going into combat, so I'm going to talk about formation. So, also, as far as I'm aware, there is no rules that specifically say... Okay, I just found the march... I think it's better if I just read this. I think we'll talk about the marching orders from reading it rather than me explaining, because it's pretty simple. So in marching order, you must decide in which order the characters are marched in the dungeon, using miniatures or counters to represent this, or write the marching order on the adventure sheet, simply writing a number 1, 2, 3, or 4 next to the character's name. You may change your marching order every time you're in an empty room or corridor. You may not change your marching order when fighting. So then, marching order in corridors. A corridor is large enough to allow 2 characters to walk side by side. So a group of 4 characters will have 2 characters on the front, places 1 and 2, and 2 in the rear, 3 and 4. A party of 3 characters will have 2 characters in the front, places 1 and 2, and 1 in the rear, so place 3. If the party is reduced to 2 characters, they both count as being in the front, but will be attacked in the rear if surprised by wandering monsters. In a corridor, only characters in places 1 and 2 can fight, but characters in places 3 and 4 can only cast spells or attack over the heads of their friends if they have a bow or a sling. The same restriction applies to monsters when you encounter a group of monsters in a corridor. Only 2 of them will be able to attack your characters. And then marching order in room. Marching order is relevant when the party enters a room. Oh, okay. Rooms are large enough that all characters can fight. However, characters with bows and slings may use them only on the first turn. After that, they will be engaged in close combat. In close combat, all characters are assumed to draw their close combat weapons, or, if they have none, they will fight at -2 to attack rolls using punches and kicks. Spells may be cast as normal in rooms. Spellcasters are tough enough to withstand a melee hit and still be able to fry opponents with a fireball. And then obviously we have different things as well for that, but that's just the one thing I wanted to talk about. Again, I don't want to go too much in depth with the different content, because, there is a lot to, not a lot to remember, but there's a good bit to remember. Okay, so, in terms of the marching order, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to put the marching order up to here. This is going to represent the marching order. So, Sweet Luck is going to be number 1. We're going to have a Lantern Bearer, which is Nympheus. He's going to be in second. So we'll just do it like this. So he's going to be second. And then our Halfling, Morgan, is going to be third. And then finally, Simsandrol is going to be fourth. So this is going to be our marching order. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to remember that. Okay, so now we have a choice between 1, 2, and 3. So I thought about how I'm going to do this, and I'm going to let the RNG choose. This is going to be a little interesting. We'll let the RNG choose. So let's go to our dice roller. We're going to do D3. So the left-hand door is 1, 2, 3. We're going through door number 2, going through the center. So following our stuff, we're going to go forward like that. So now what we need to do is we need to roll on our first room check now. Shit. All right, sorry folks. I don't think I had I don't think I had Paint 3D up when I showed you. So yeah, so number 2, we're just going upwards. So yeah, the blue line indicates which way we're going. So going back to the PDF, we're now at the room selection screen. So the D66 indicates the number. So a D66, if we roll both of them together, right? The one represents the tens, the other represents the units. So it's a minimum of 11 to a maximum of 66. So let's get our first corridor or first room depending. So D66. Well, actually, it's probably best if we do this. 2 D6s. So we got 53. Okay, so let's scroll down. Let's see 53. So yeah, so these are all the rooms that you can potentially get. 53 is a corridor with an open and a door. Interesting. Okay, let me get that into the thing. Okay, so we have number 53. Now, every time we unlock a new room, per se, every time we unlock a new room, we need to roll the contents of it now. So this could be really good or really bad depending, because this could either lead us to our first fight, or this could potentially lead us to some treasure as such. So, the room contents table. So we need to roll a 2d6. So, we have a choice between treasure found, treasure protected by trap, if corridor is empty, but roll on special feature table, roll on the vermin, minions, corridor empty, 9 is empty, if corridor empty, and then 11, roll on the boss table, then roll d6, add a +1 for every boss or monster you encounter so far in the game. If your total is a D+, 6 plus, sorry, or the dungeon layout is complete, this is the final boss. 12, empty if corridor, otherwise the room is a small dragon's lair. Yeah, and trust me, I had a small dragon's lair on my first run. There's also something here as well. When a room or corridor is empty, maybe it's just a pure suck. You may search an empty room to determine whether there's something hidden. You might get lucky and find hidden treasures or even clues to the darkest secrets of the dungeon. Rules for exploration on page 53, however, searching is a dangerous activity. The characters slow down, remove their helmets to see better, sheath their weapons to respect things, and the constant tapping on walls and floors may attract unwanted attention. Yep. So let's get our first room content then. So we're gonna go with a 2d6? Yep, 2d6. 2d6. And we have 4. So 4 if corridor empty, which this is. So yeah, so this is a corridor leading to a room, so empty, right? So I'm gonna say that even though it's empty, we're just starting our adventure. I think we're gonna have a look, see if there's anything hidden. So for that, we need to go to page 53. Okay, so come down to page 53, searching rooms. All dungeons have secrets. Whenever an empty room is generated, you may decide that is not the case. A roll on the table below. A halfling may use a luck point to re-roll. A room may only be searched only once. Mark it with an S when you search it. When searching the corridors, roll a -1. So our different options is this. We have a 1 with wandering monsters attack, 2 to 4 rooms empty, 5 to 6 clues, secret door, or hidden treasure. So let's roll a d6 -1. See what we got. We got a 1, basically. Alright, so we got a monster then. So we got a wandering monster. Okay, so wandering monsters are security guards to the dungeon. They roam about using secret passages or hiding in the shadows until foolhardy adventurers pass by. When the rules call for wandering monsters, roll d6 to determine what type of monsters are attracted. So 1 to 2 is on the vermin table, 3 to 4 is on the minions table, 5 is on the weird monsters table, and 6 roll on the boss monster table. Reroll any dragon. A wandering monster may not be the final boss. So yeah, let's see what we got. D6. We got a 6. Oh my god, we got a boss monster. Roll on the boss monster table. And trust me, some of these boss monsters... Got a boss monster on the first one? Are you kidding me? Okay, boss table. So we have a choice between a mummy, an orc brute, ogre, Medusa, chaos lord, or a small dragon. But if it's a dragon, we're gonna have to re-roll. Oh my god, are you kidding me? We're facing a boss monster already? Ooh. Okay. Okay. Now, let's see what we got. I can't believe we got a boss monster already, my fucking luck. Okay, so it's a 2. So we get an orc brute. So orc brute is a level 5, 5 life points, 2 attacks, treasure +1, but may not have any magic items. Treat as a 2d6 times d6 gold pieces instead. So, the way this works is, wandering monsters, I believe... Wandering monsters sneak on the party and automatically attack first. On the first turn of combat, characters may not use the shield bonus for the first events. Roll against wandering monsters. If you're in a corridor, the wandering monsters will attack the 2 rearmost characters. If you're in a room and there's enough wandering monsters to attack all characters will be attacked by at least 1 monster. Rest attacks going against character types first. Then against the characters with the lowest current life pool, and all wandering monsters roll morale when the situation calls for it. So, we get automatically attacked. So, let's get into combat. Okay, so we're into combat now. So, the boss came up this way or that way, the Orc Brute. And because it came up behind us, our formation is currently looking like this. So we have Morgan, and we have Sandrol up front, and we have Nifsius, and we have Sweetlock behind them. So, and they're going to do an automatic attack. So, let's talk about combat now that we're actually in combat. Okay, so now we're in encounter, let's talk about the actual mechanics of encounters. Now, I'm not going to go over this bit because this comes into effect when we're coming across the encounter, not the wandering monster. What we want is this. Okay, so when do monsters... hold on. Watch in order. Okay, when do monsters attack? After all characters in the party have performed one action each, such as attack, cast a spell, or healing, it's the monster's turn to attack. If any have survived the party's attack. Alright, so that just means the first initial bit. It's this bit here. The monsters do not roll dice. Those characters who are attacked make a defense roll against the level of the monsters. So this is a very interesting combat system because, again, we're not rolling die for the monsters, we're not. So we're rolling ourselves for our attack rolls and our defense rolls. So the defense rolls has to beat the level of the creature. So in this case, going back to the PDF, level 5. So for us to successfully get an attack on and to defend, we need to beat a 5. This is why I'm scared for this bit, because do you know what I mean? This is why I'm kind of scared, you know. But there is a chance we might actually survive this. So we'll see. We'll see. So, defense roll modifiers: light armor is a +1, heavy armor is a +2, shields a +1, rogue you add the rogue's level, dwarf defending against a troll or giant is +1, halfling defending against a troll, giant or ogre you add the halfling's level, which isn't too bad because we have a +2. Do I have a +2? Yeah. So going with our characters, going on to a character sheet. So Markin gets a +1 to orcs, which is an orc brute, so that's good. Nephisius adds a +2 from his armor and his level. Sisandrol adds a +2 from his armor and level as well, and Sweetluck adds a +2 from the leather armor and the shield, which is pretty nice. So ultimately, if we could roll a 3 minimum, we're sorted. So that's half the dice near enough. Well, for Margin, it's 4, so that's what, 20, 40, 60, roughly around 60% chance. No, 40. Right, so it's a 40% chance minimum for Margin to successfully defend against the creature. The rest is 50%. So, you know what I mean? And it's a bit flunky at the minute, I'll tell you that much. Okay, so that's the defense roll modifiers. Sure. Okay, so defense roll success. If the character's roll higher than the monster's level, he rolls a natural 6, or modified, the character takes no damage from the roll. Damage roll failure. If the damage roll is equal or lower than the monster's level, or if the character rolls a natural 1, or modified, the character takes 1 wound. You mark 1 life off the character's profile. Sometimes powerful enemies inflict 2 wounds on a successful hit. As explained in the monster tale. So who is attacked? Number of monsters, your marching order, or your room or corridor. And then we get into different scenarios of like if there's more characters or more things there. So that stuff. So we do have a little bit of a... So we do have some things that we can do if things aren't going away. So running away from combat. Sometimes your party will be so beat up that you might want to run away from an overwhelming opposition. 2 options: withdraw or flight. Withdrawal. Your party slowly retreats to any room and its back, slamming the door shut and leaving the monsters on the other side. Make a note of where the monsters are. They will still be there when you enter that room again. Withdrawal is possible only when characters have a door to slam shut between themselves and the monsters. If the room has an opening, withdrawal is not possible. During the withdrawal, the monsters get to strike once at the characters, but the characters have +1 defense rolls. Flight, the party runs away. As they do so, each monster will attack once. Each character must make a defense roll. The bonus from the shields do not apply in this case, so for sweet block could be +1. If there are enough monsters to attack all creatures, every character receives 1 attack. If there are fewer monsters and fleeing creatures, the attacks will be directed first against the character or characters who have more life points, and then against characters who are hated by monsters of none, then you randomize. If a character is killed or running away, his equipment and treasure remains in the room and may not be redistributed to the other members of the party. Mark the room on your map. You have to re-enter that room and fight for the monsters to recover the spoils of war. And then we have monster fleas. Sometimes monsters will run away from combat due to a failed morale roll or some other game effect. When this happens, each character may perform one attack, a +1 to flame monster. In most cases, you may ignore this rule as it may not make any difference. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's how encounters work to a degree. Now, I don't think there's like anything here that says... it doesn't like it. Let's go further up. Let's change back to the room. Does it say anything about attacking? If we could have went the other way, but... Okay, so these are the monsters. Right. So we have some different monsters. The minions we'll go over. Let's go over the bosses first. Okay, bosses. Bosses are tougher than minions. They have multiple life points like characters. Some perform more than one attack per turn, which the Orc does 2, according to his stat block. Every successful hit in a boss depletes one of their life points. When the boss loses more than half his life points, his level drops by 1, making it easier. And he must make a morale check. Roll a die and the result is 3 or less, the boss flees. If the roll is 4 or better, the boss continues to fight until the best round. When his life points reach 0, the boss is dead and his body and room can be looted for treasure. Important. The boss's level drops immediately as soon as you reduce his life total to less than half. For example, a level 6 with 5 life points becomes a level 5 creature when you inflict a total of 3 points of damage. This means that it becomes easier to hit the monster to avoid its attacks. Fleeing monsters. Monsters that flee just disappear from the game. You may not chase them, you still get the treasure. And then we have monster reactions, which is mainly to do with, you know, when we don't attack them straight away. And then with bribe, flight, fight to the death, puzzle, magic challenge. Yeah, we have some other things we can do. Right, so let's actually get into combat then. I've been waffling on for too long. I just wanted to do this just right. So, I'm going to say that the enemy, so we came up to here, we're searching here. I'm going to say that the Orc Brute came up that way because we do have an open door that we can retreat to if that's the case. So, the Orc comes in and gets 2 attacks immediately. The 2 people he's attacking is going to be Margin, and it's going to be Sinsan. I'm going to call him Sinsan for short. So they need to make 2 defense rolls. So for Margin, it's a +1. It's a d6 +1, and Infectious is a d6 +2. So let's go with Margin first. And they have to be a level 5. They have to get a 5. So this is where things get really fucking scary. d6 +1. Oh my god, Margin succeeds. Sinsan succeeds as well. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Okay, so the success to fight. So no. So Margin has his hatchet. Equipped. And Sinsan has his dagger. So they're going to attack back. No. Going with the rogue's attack roll conditions. So it says that you add your level to the attack roll if you're outnumbered. Because there's only one person, he gets a flat 0. It doesn't take a -1 because of his hand light weapon. But unfortunately, Margin does. Now he does have his luck points, so he could use his luck if he needs to. So let's start then. So we'll start with Margin first. So it's a d6 -1, needs to be a 5. That's a miss. That's a miss as well. Okay, so no hits. Okay, so no hits. Now we go back to the Orc Brute. So we need to make 2 attacks. So the 2 attacks is always split among how many members are fighting. Alright? So you never do 2 on 1 target. You never do that. If there's more than 2 targets and he does 2 attacks, that's when you do racial, and that's when, you know, low HP and whatever conditions you want. Right, so let's do another d6. So there's going to be a d6 +1 for Margin. He gets hit, so he loses 1 HP. And then we're going to do the same for Sinsan. He succeeds. Okay, so what happens is he gets a life down. Like so. So he's down to 3. Okay, right. So the other 2 members are not doing anything. Okay, do I want to give... Does Margin want to use his action to give Sweet Luck the sling? Level 3 attacks. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to give, yeah. I'm going to use Margin's action. Give the sling. Of Sweet Look. Because that's going to be very, very important. So that's his action. So, Sinsan's going to make another attack. So it's going to be a d6 flat. So he needs to beat a 5 or a 6. Beats it. Sweet. Heh. Sweet. So he beats it. Okay, so now the orc's life goes from 5 down to 4. So we need to hit 4 more times. Okay, not too bad so far, not too bad. Okay, so now it's back to the orc brute's turn. So he needs to make another... He needs to make another d6 plus 1. It's going to be margin. Remember, this is defense roll. Need to be at 5. So which we don't, so he takes another hit. Oh my god, now he takes another hit. That's 2. Oh, bollocks. Oh, bollocks. Okay, and then next one is Zinzan. So it's going to be a d6 plus 2. Beats it as well. Okay, so Zinzan does not get attacks whatsoever. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so now we're back to attacking. But no, here's the thing. Because Sweet Luck has the sling now, she can make an attack at a -1. So she's put away her mace. Gets the sling from Margin. So now she can sling as well. So we're doing 3 attacks now. So we'll do Sweet Luck in a second. So let's go for Margin again. So Margin is a d6 -1. That's a hit. Oh, beautiful. That's a hit. That's a hit. So 3 becomes 2. Sorry, 4 becomes 3. Now it's not quite half health yet. Hold on. Let me just double check the boss. Let me double check the boss thing. The boss's level drops immediately as soon as you reduce his life points less than half. So less than half. So half of 5 is 2.5. So the minute it becomes 2, that's when its level comes 5 to 4. Okay, that was a great hit. That was a great hit. Alright, Zinzan, we're going to do a d6. That's a miss. That is a miss. But Sweet Luck is a... Okay, so because we have a hand weapon, a light hand weapon, because the sling is classed as a -1, that's a +0. So we're going to be rolling just a d6. Oh my god, this is absolutely nuts. 4 misses as well. Okay, so 1 hit, 2 misses. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Orc Brute again. Oh my god, I am worried for Margin. I am worried. So I'm going to do a d6 plus 1. Again, the d6 is coming from the level against the Orc, the +1. Oh my caramba. Let's have a look. 7. Okay, so he succeeds. Okay, so we're going to do a +2 for Zinzal. Sorry. That's a success as well. So he just misses both. Again, we're back to attacking. So again, for Margin, we want a -1. D6 -1. 4 is a miss. We're going to do a D6 for Zinzal. 2's a miss. And then we're just going to do a D6 for Sweet Luck with a sling. That's a miss as well. Oh my god. Okay, back to the defense. Margin succeeds. Zinzal succeeds as well. Oh, we're getting lucky now. We're getting lucky. Okay. Back to Margin for the attacking. That's a miss. Zinzal. It's a miss. Sweet Luck. That's a miss as well. What the hell is going on, man? Seriously. Honestly, trying to hit a 5. So we're hitting high on the defense, but we're not hitting high on the attacks. And all we need to do is get 1 more attack to bring that down to 4. Oh my god. And then we need to do a morale check, see if he leaves or he stays. Oh, okay, right, so on the defense again. That's a hit. Oh shit, Margin. Margin's down to 1 HP. Oh fuck. Alright, Zinzal. D6 plus 2. Let's succeed. Okay, so now we're back to the thingy's turn. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to have a quick look at the PDF, actually. Let me bring the PDF up for a second. Rest. Yes, can I exchange equipment in this situation? Oh, I did a boo-boo. Okay, I did a boo-boo. It says, during the combat, two characters want to exchange equipment must forfeit their attacks to do so. Yeah, I remember doing the sling attack straight away for Sweet Luck. I forgot about that. Damn it. Armor shields may be exchanged only if the characters have the same build. Yeah. Pick up a wizard, pick up a sword. You may, but not me use a dagger. It'd be used if we use a dagger. Incantations. Once the Lancer Bearer dies. The Lancer falls to the ground, but it does not go off. It may be picked up by another character at the end of the combat. If you want, another character may pick it up during the combat, forfeiting its chance to attack that turn. A party without a lantern has -2 to all attack and defense rolls and may not use ranged weapons. The only thing that the party can do without a lantern is trace their way out of the dungeon, so if your Lancer Bearer dies and the lantern's on the floor, it's not a good idea to withdraw from that encounter, so when you spend it up. Yeah. What I'm looking for... What I am looking for is, can people change their positions in combat? Can heal give you more? If you're free, you heal. Yeah, pushes healing is amazing in this game. You've leveled up. Bosses on a treasure. Bosses on a met wonder monsters. No, you can imagine all the treasure in the lair. Shit, so bosses don't have. Oh, so bosses and monsters don't have any treasure. God damn it. Do minions and bosses meet as one to experience count for experience problems? Yes. The boss means 1 XP roll if defeated. Oh, nice, okay. Does boss count for HP? Yes. Right, so there's nothing in the PDF. I just had a quick scan through it that says that we can't switch position. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing in the PDF that says that we can't swap positions, so we could do rules as written. Yeah, we could do rules as written and keep him there. Or, yeah, we're just going to keep him there. It's fine. If he dies, he dies. Okay, so we're down to 1 HP, so we're on the attack now. Okay, let's see what we can do then. Alright, so D6 minus 1, 2, D6, 4, D6, 2. Oh my god, we're not getting the attacking. Okay, right, D6 plus 1. That's it. Margin goes down. Done. Oh my god, yeah. 1 HP, he is down. Gonski. Done. So now, the good thing is, because of that, Sweet Luck comes to the front. Okay, right, so... Next is Sinzel's. Right, so he attacked... Yeah, so he's attacking Sinzel now. +2. 4. Sinzel gets his first wound. Oh my god. God, I have never had this worse luck before. Out of my 4 playthroughs, I never got a boss on my first encounter. Especially a wandering encounter as well. Jesus Lord. Right, so we're on the offense now. So, here's the thing. Sweet Luck currently has her sling equipped. So, she's going to take an action to take out her mace instead, because she can't use close range combat. Sorry, she can't use ranged attacks in close range. So, yeah, so Sinzel's going to have to make an attack, so it's a D6. And he gets a hit. Perfect. Now, this is good. Came a little too late in my opinion. So 3 becomes 2. He's now a level 4. And now here's the thing. We need to do a morale check. Okay, so the monsters. When a group of minions loses more than half its initial number, if a group has 8 losses, 8 loses 5. Let's make a D6. If they roll 3 or less, the remaining monsters flee. If you roll 4 or better, the monsters continue to fight. You perform 1 morale roll per encounter, unless monster profile says otherwise. Yeah. So, as soon as it drops to half, Yep, roll a die, the results are 3 or less, the boss flees. If rolls 4 or better, the boss continues to fight to the better end. So what's he doing? Is he staying or is he going? Let's have a look. Oh my god, he's staying. Oh, I really wanted him to go so I didn't have to face him anymore. God bloody damn it. Okay, right. So, the good thing is, he is now classed as level 4. He is now classed as level 4, so now we need to beat a 4 for attack and defense rolls. So, yeah, things have got slightly better. Alright, so now it's the Orc's turn. So, the Brute Orc. So for Sweet Luck, her defense is a +2 from the leather armor and from the shield. And of course, Sinzel is still a +2 from the dodge and from his armor. Right, so D6 +2 for Sweet Luck. Beats it. D6 +2. Beats it. Okay, nothing for this round. Okay, so now Sweet Luck has her mace out for close combat. So she is a +1. Because hand weapons just are a flat modifier. Two-handed weapons do give a +1, but just normal size hand weapons is +0, but she just adds her level to her attack rolls from being a warrior. And she's level 1. So, let's get D6 +1. 4 is a hit. Perfect. So that becomes 2 hit points to 1. And Zinzel, my friend. Why does it say 0? I thought we had 6. Oh, never mind. Okay, 4 is a hit. Alright, perfect. I wasn't sure what's going on with the rolls there. And that's him done. Holy hell. So that is the Orc Brute done. So, what we do is, we come over to the monsters killed. So we go over to the monsters killed. I get the right font, because I like using Britannic. Right middle, thank you. So Orc Brute. I'm going to put him into boss monsters. Now, the good news about boss monsters is, see, this fight was tough, but it comes with a big reward. Now, first of all, according to that PDF, if it's a wandering monster, we do not get the treasure. We don't get gold pieces or anything. It's done. It's done, right? But the cool thing about this is, however, we are able to get a experience roll. Now, the way they do experience in this game and level ups is amazing. Actually, it's actually really, really amazing. So let me bring you to the leveling up section. Leveling up. Every time the party kills a boss, completes a quest, or survives 10 encounters with minions, a character of your choice may attempt to level up. This is called experience or XP roll. Roll a die, and if the result is higher than the character's current level, the character gains a level. If you slay a dragon as the 2 final boss monster, you gain 2 XP rolls, but a maximum of 1 level increase. Abilities that allow to reroll dice such as Halfling Luck may not be used in XP rolls. XP rolls for minions are a -1. You may not attempt to level up with the same character twice in a row. So for example, Dolm, the 3rd level wizard, is in a party that manages to kill a Chaos Lord. Since the Chaos Lord is a boss, the party decides to attempt an XP roll for Dolm. The player rolls a 3, which is not higher than Dolm's current level, so Dolm remains a 3rd level wizard. Later in the adventure, the party slays a dragon. The player attempts to level up Dolm again. Killing a dragon gets 2 XP rolls. The player rolls a d6, scores a 5, so Dolm levels up and becomes a 4th level wizard. The player can now use the 2nd XP roll for another character, since you have a maximum 1 level increase per encounter on a character. If Dolm's XP roll has failed, the player could use a 2nd attempt and roll them again. So for us, we are going to... Oh yeah, maximum levels. Once a character reaches 5th level, he has reached his peak and may no longer level up. Dwarves peak at 4th level, Elves and Halflings peak at the 3rd level, and here we have increase in life. A character who gains a level increases 1 life points. Ready to run campaigns may have different rules for gaining levels. In Supplement 4 against Darkness Deeper Dungeons, the character has the option to take expert skills to level up. And if we go back to this bit here, What happens when a wounded character levels up? When you level up, you can instantly add 1 life point to both your current total and your starting life point total. So a character who has 5 life points, who was wounded down to 3, who level up now have 4 life, and if healed can heal up to 6. Ratio 5 plus 1 for new level. So now we have a chance. So basically, the way it just works in layman's terms is, to level up a character, you have to do a roll that is higher than the character's level. So for example, if we roll a d6 and level up Sweetluck, she needs to roll a 2 or above to level up. To level up to level 2. And then on the next level, to level 3, you need to beat a 2. And then to get to level 4, we need to beat 3. And then to beat a level 4, we need to beat 5. So this is a really clever way to extend your party out so you're not leveling up too quickly. I love it. So, now we have a choice. We can either give it to Nympheus, to Salderol, or we can give it to Sweetluck. It's tough. Because getting the level up for Sweetluck will allow her to add a +2 to the attack roll. Where if we give it to one of our rogues, not only will they get a +1 to the outnumbered, but they will also get a +1 to the defense roll. So one of them will have a +3 instead of a +2. Ooh, that's tough. I'm kind of leaning towards Sanderol to level him up so he can get back to quote-unquote full health. So he is at 4 out of 5. Do you know what? I'm going to have a think about this in between episodes, and actually, do you know what? From this recording and to the beginning of the episode, that's probably about an hour, so Joe, I'm going to leave it here, actually. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I am going to try and make for shorter episodes the best I can, but, you know, I don't have any, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have any curfew to these episodes, any limit or something. So yeah, I think I'm just going to end it here. I think this is actually good enough. So that explains combat. That explains the dungeon exploration. So now we're down to 3 characters instead of 4, and we just defeated the boss monster, and we have an XP level up to give. So yeah, I'm going to have to think about this. It's actually quite difficult. Normally I do give my XP rolls to my warriors for higher levels, because a +2 in attack roll is the difference between life and death, and not to mention most of the minions and vermins will have only 1 life point, so a warrior can just cleave through enemies quite quickly. But then again, I am thinking about the rest for their defenses as well, because we've got +2 across the board, and +3 would be pretty nice. So anyway, I'll think about it. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the 2 episodes I've done up to now. Again, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. And yeah, that's going to be it. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Links down below, check them out if you wish. Apart from that, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Take care.